Good day to all of you. Our discussion for today will be focusing about the facilities planning within a specific industry, which is the food service industry. So as we all know, food service industry is a very dominant segment of the hospitality industry that really gives a lot of impact when it comes to the economic growth of the country. And food service also offers lots of job opportunities to people because it has lots of job vacancies to offer, positions to offer to someone or to people who wants to be employed within that kind of business. And also, this is part of our culture and our society, and this answers one of the basic needs of human, which is the food. And this provides comfort to all of us. So for our topic outline for today, we are going to discuss the different categories and types of food service industry. What are the facilities planning and design concepts, and what is project team all about? What is design sequence and the examples of programming and schematic design, as well as the different trends of food service industry. Food accompanies many celebrations, even conversations with friends and family, and this also touches one of our sensories, our five senses, such as when we are able to taste food, the flavor of the food, when we are going to smell the aroma of the food being served to us, to feel the texture of it, and to see or to hear the sound of cooking and even the sound of music inside the establishment. Okay, so also we are able to see the visual presentation as food is being presented to us. And as we have discussed a while ago, we are going to also to tackle the different trends and of the food service industry, and that is a manifestation that food service industry is continually evolving or changing. So here are the five factors to successful establishments. So of course, we need to know our market segments. We need to study our potential markets, what are their preferences. We need also to decide where to locate our establishment. Also the atmosphere or the ambience. What is the concept of our establishment, and of course the menu. This is the heart of the design. And we need really to consider what are the types of menu we're going to serve to our prospective customers. We have different categories of food service establishment. We have the commercial and the non-commercial. So when we see commercial food establishment or food service, the majority of food service establishments we see in the food service sector. Okay, so these are those establishments that have competitors, direct and indirect. And when we say non-commercial food service establishment, these are institutional or non-commercial establishments. So for example, the focus of their business is not centering the food, but they offer food. For example, college institutions. Okay, so the primary business they have is education. So they just have this food service establishment inside their premise. So that's under the category of non-commercial food service. We have different types of food service establishments. We have chain restaurants, and these are the examples of chain restaurants. We see this different kinds of restaurants all over the places. We have this as well in different cities, as well as different countries around the world. So primarily the service they have here is a quick, or they have this what we call the quick service, and this is also called as fast food chains. So the food are prepared already once you order, and then you are going to carry those orders of yours, and then you are going to self-serve or to serve yourself. Now, well, on the other hand, we have the table service. So these are the different examples of table service in which the staff will go in on your table and will be handing you menus, and you will select your orders from there, and then they will serve you the order. So that's table service. And then we also have the ethnic food service, in which we have a specialty or specific menu selections, no? In which foods are different. It depends upon the ethnicity or the ethnic group of a certain location, or the theme that they want to show the customers. We also have specialty restaurants, so it depends upon the owners on what specialty they want to offer to their guests. So, like for example here, bangus, the specialty of what we offer is bangus, and then for this, seafood. Okay. We also have fine dining restaurants. So when we say fine dining restaurants, this is an elegant type of food service establishment in which food are much high in prices than other food service establishments. We also have this very nice ambience. We have this very nice lighting. They have this settings or table setup. So they have their receptionist to welcome you, and then they have their menus as well, and they will allow you to sit on your table, and then they will ask your orders, and then afterwards they will serve your orders in meal sequence. So the food is made to order. So usually the time of the guests that are staying here usually until 2 hours or 1 to 2 hours. So this is a fine dining restaurant. Okay, and then we have theme restaurants. So they have various themes, unique themes, that will capture the attentions of the customers. So here in the example, they have different unique themes, and this is a this types of restaurants, or this theme restaurants really capture the attention of the youth. Okay, so these are the examples of theme restaurants. And we have top restaurants. So this really emphasizes the views of the target location or the tourist destination wherein your restaurant is located. So they add these views for those restaurants for the guests to enjoy the view and to relax. So usually they also have casual service here. So these are examples of top restaurants. And then we have these family restaurants wherein the menus are served per family, and usually the choices are for big groups. Okay, so these are family restaurants. And then we have the buffet restaurants wherein all of the meal categories are present, and usually you have various choices, per meal sequence or per meal categories. So we have lots of appetizers to choose from, we have lots of main dish to choose from, desserts as well, and of course the beverage. And usually the price are set as one, so as a set meal. Okay? So they have this, for example, breakfast or lunch, breakfast buffet for 999 pesos, or lunch buffet for 1,500 pesos. That's as like that. So these are the examples of buffet restaurants. And then we have this cafeteria. So usually they are located on malls, even at different institutions. So they have a variety of stores or stalls to choose from, and depending upon their specialty as well. They are much smaller than those standalone restaurants. Okay, And then we have snack bars. So they have their separate locations, but they are much smaller than restaurants and other types of food service establishment, and they usually offer a single or um, single products that has that have different sets of menus in it, but they have their core products. Okay. And then we have discotheques. So in here, you can see you can see people. You can see this personnel who runs the music or this jockey, and then usually they are uh, all, operating during nighttime. So they also have food and drinks here, usually alcoholic beverages. Okay, and they have a small serving of food to offer. And these are nightclubs. These are the example of nightclubs. So they are much they are not much crowded as the discotheque, but usually they have the same offerings for their guests. Okay. Example of nightclubs. Okay. So when we see facilities planning and design, um, some of the entrepreneurs or all of the entrepreneurs that want to focus on food service business, they want to discover something new, but they do not know how to do it or they do not know how to operate it. So if a business owner wishes to build a restaurant with a nightclub and outside diet dancing, he or she may quickly learn that the concept is unworkable for various reasons. So there are always pros and cons. So there could be a number of causes for this. So the area must not be zoned for commercial use. For example, the music's decibel levels may be too high for city regulation when it comes to the ambience, and the liquor licensing authority may refuse to provide a liquor license due to population density and restrictions. So those are the causes why some of the establishments or the concept they want to pursue will not be possible, because this is just one of the many possibilities that the entrepreneur may have to settle for something else. So when it happens, you need to have another plan that will suit the situation that in which you will locate your establishment. So you really need to study the environment. You really need to follow the guidelines of the location in which you are going to put up your business, the local government as well, so and many others. There are many considerations. Most of the entrepreneurs, on the other hand, constantly want to develop something new. So there are lots of growing entrepreneurs nowadays focusing on food service industry. Young entrepreneurs, they want to solve problem. So they want to come up with something new. They want to improve people's lives by providing better food and beverages, as well as a pleasant environment, the hopes of earning a financial reward in return. So they said that entrepreneurs should be a problem solver. They really want to answer the problem of a certain area in which they will locate their business, and with that, we will able to serve those people and to have a profit in return. So with that, you really need to study the needs of your market. You really need to have this market research to know what is really the need of the markets within your area of target location. Okay, so it's not that you want to build something, but you do not study first what are the likes or what are the demands of the people who are going to go with the establishment that you're going to build. So in that sense, you're not answering their problem, and maybe it will give also discomfort to you because there are lots of hindrances in order for you to build your business, or in order for you to put up what you want to put up. It's not always like that. You need also to consider your target market. Okay. So also, the design and layout of food service facilities can be used by hospitality professionals if they really wanted to have this design project, or they have these resources to build this project, or for college and university students like you, or they want to have these careers, food service management, after you have your you finish your college education. And for the design professionals who wish to know more about the food service design process, starting with the market research, the financial feasibility studies, and including the principles, equipment, the selection, and engineering. So these are the following people that really focusing on the feasibility studies, or the design layout of food service facilities. No? And they succeed. They succeed by doing lots of processes first, before implementing their dream establishment or their dream businesses. Okay, so here are the project team. So of course you need to have the representative or the owner's representative, your engineers, the interior designers, the architect, the food service facilities design consultant, and the food service equipment contractor. So for example, you really want to have this establishment of your own. You want to build your food service establishment. So this is your project team. You need all of these people to help you, in order for you to be successful in your dream project. Okay, so here are the responsibilities. So first, we have the owner's responsibilities or owner's representatives roles. So he or she is responsible for selecting team members, such as the architect, food service, and a consultant, and etc. He or she is also responsible for determining the operational goals for the project, setting and the budget and obtaining funds for the project. Also in evaluation, the design of the project, and accepting or rejecting recommendations of equipment, furniture, and etc. So he or she represents the owner. So here again, here are the responsibilities or the roles. And then for the architect, so he or she is responsible for coordinating the work of the design teams. So which are the engineers, the consultant, interior designers, also in preparing and submitting design drawings and specifications for the projects, as well as managing the bidding and contract negotiation process, also coordinates and inspects the construction process. So here are the responsibilities of the architect. Okay, for the engineers, we have different engineers, no? We have this electrical engineers. His specification or his specialty is centered on the designing the systems that supply electricity as needed in the facility. For the mechanical engineers, the design of the plumbing, the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems within the facility. For the structural engineers design, so he or she is responsible to support the structure of the building and to protect the integrity of the wholeness of the building, the structure of the building. And then the civil engineers design site improvements necessary for the facility. So for the civil engineers, they are responsible for the improvements of the design sites. For the food service consultants, these are their typical roles and responsibilities, assist the owners in identifying operating or operational goals and objectives, works closely with the architect to determine the requirements of the space. They are also responsible in designing the food service areas, and they also lay out equipment within them, and they also recommend the equipment to the owner. He also prepares drawings and specifications for the food service related parts of the project, and he coordinates construction of the food service areas, including an inspection of the completed facility. Okay, and then for the common food service consulting services, um, they are responsible for the market and financial feasibility studies. They are also in head of the master planning and programming to determine what approaches, systems, and design concepts will best meet the owner's objectives. We also need to study the evaluation or to focus on the facility evaluation to know what are the strengths and weaknesses of the existing food services, and they need to have recommendations for improvements. And they also as well need to focus on the food service facilities design and operations analysis in order to know what are the deficiencies and recommendations for improvement. So these are their responsibilities. For the interior designer, they give the food service operation the distinctive visual character and theme through the design of the interior spaces, as well as the color selection and the furniture and finishes specification. They also focus on the public or customer parts of the facility rather than on a kitchen or storage area. So there are more on the interior design. And then we have the food service equipment contractor. We have this dealer who performs the marketing or who buy food service equipment, and may be a subcontractor that is hired by the general contractor or by a prime contractor hired by the owner. So you need to be careful in selecting people, especially when they have transactions or they have monetary transactions, because you really need to focus on the quality of the equipment that you will purchase or that you will procure. Okay, so furnishes and installs the equipment as designed and specified the food service design consultant. So they are the ones who do it. So they are the ones who furnish and installs those equipments being recommended by the food service design consultant. Okay. So here is the design sequence. So first you need to have your pre-design, and in order to do that, you need to have your concept development and your feasibility. So after that, you have the design proper. So you have the programming, the schematic design, the design development, the construction documents, or the construction documents, the bidding and award, the construction administration, and inspection and acceptance. And for the post-design, you have to implement and continuously train employees. Okay, so this is the design sequence. So in programming, we have this term space analysis that is able to determine the amount of area required for each of the functional areas of the food service operation. And we have this determination of agency or adjacency, that needs to know what functional areas need to be located next to each other or adjacent to each other. So space analysis is very important in ergonomics because you're able to set the required area or amount of area, so required size of area needed in order to be functional. Okay, so also in preparation of food service program statement, when we say food service program statement, this is a narrative description of all the requirements of each functional area used by the design team. So these are the responsibilities of programming, or the considerations, the factors to consider when it comes to programming. Okay. This is an example of schematic design phase 1. So we have these different parts here. We have the shape of the building, the entrances, the flow pattern, the location, the dining rooms, the kitchen, major components of the food service facility. Okay, so we have this different sections of the food service facility. So of course, you need to present your initial plan and then the revised plan, okay, and then estimate the cost. So this is schematic design phase 1 example. Okay. Okay. The next one, the design development, or the phase 2. So you have prepared the floor plans, the utility drawings, the elevation sections, no revisions and refining, okay, the detailed drawings, and then a consultation within the owner. So these are the activities you will do for design development phase 2. Okay, and then for the design development electrical, this is an example. You have seen different circuits here, where to locate those electrical equipment within your food service establishment. And this is an example of design development mechanical. Okay. And then for the example of an elevation drawing with a hot sink with collector. Okay. And then for the phase 3 construction documents, so you need to have your drawings that shows construction of the new or renovated facility. This includes all site work, structural systems, the rooms and other spaces, the utility systems, the equipment, and the finishes and details. For the specification, you need to describe the materials and the products, the standards of the workmanship, the methods of fabrication and construction, applicable code requirement, the methods of installation and cleaning and testing. So for general conditions of the contract, we need to define the terms, assigning responsibility, establishing payments and payment schedules, describe how changes are to be handled, and listing the specific projects conditions. So this is more specific. So you need to perform all of this in under construction documents phase 3. And then for phase 4, bidding and contract negotiation, putting the project on the street or on the go. So you have these interested contractors that will prepare proposals following the requirements of the documents. Questions regarding the requirements are addressed by the design team. And bids are due by a deadline, usually 4 to 8 weeks for food service equipment. And usually bids are evaluated for conformance to the contract requirements. And the successful bidder, these are often the lowest qualified price is identified when a contract is being negotiated. Okay, so in continuation for the bidding and contract negotiation phase 4, so food service equipment contractors often propose substitutions and alternates to what was specified in the bid document. So substitutions are proposals to provide materials, the products, equipment, or systems from a manufacturer other than the one named in the specifications. And for the alternates, these are proposals to provide materials, products, equipment, or systems different from what was described in the specifications, generally at a significantly lower price. So you need to have this backups, no substitutions, and alternates. Okay. For the phase 5, construction coordination, you need to review, to coordinate and examine, and of course to prepare. So these are the 4 steps, no, or the 4 activities under construction coordination phase 5. So for implementation and training, we need to, what are the benefits for these activities, no, for especially in the training? This benefit employees by explaining the intent of the design, learning the most efficient and effective ways of using the new facility, and demonstrating the proper use and maintenance of new equipment. So now let's go to the different dining trends. So we have here the video of the different dining trends. So, but in this mode, I'm not able to play the video, but I will share you the link of the video for you to watch it. So now we are experiencing COVID-19 pandemic, and still, even though it's the cases are lowering down, still we have this protocols to follow, and this really affects the operations, but much better now than uh, the previous years. Okay, so we are still growing, and we are still on the business. Okay, and we also have different line trends across countries now post COVID-19 pandemic. So we are going to continue. What are those restrictions we are going to follow, but we are more careful about those activities to be done inside the kitchen. Okay, here here are the following trends. So less tables or more patios. Okay, so we have this dining tables outside the premise in order for the air to circulate properly, to avoid the virus. Okay, separators for the table between the tables. Okay, take out windows. We also offer that in order to cater those individuals wanted to buy their products. Less contacts for the customers and for the employees. And then more combos and prefix options or fixed price options. Okay, in order for them to get the meal in a set price. Uh, uh, Complete set of meal, more combos and complete set of meal in a set price. Large parties, cutting large parties, so they are not able to serve large parties anymore. They have restrictions, and then before they have their um, celebrations, they need to have reservations first. So these are the trends after the COVID pandemic. Okay, so these are the references. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you learned something from our discussion for today.